Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. So today's topic is a trainer education podcast, and the title is The Shopping Cart. So recently I was at a grocery store and I was kind of walking behind somebody as they were pushing their groceries out. And I wasn't like directly behind them, but I was behind them enough that I was kind of like walking with nothing else to kind of look and see. So I was noticing them, but not really paying attention much. And I had noticed that they had stopped in front of me, took their grocery bags out of the cart. They then kind of turned the cart in line with the other carts, pushed it close by to the carts, and then walked away. And what I thought was funny about it was they had purposefully put effort into putting the shopping cart back where it quote unquote belonged in their mind. But if you go to most grocery stores now, they have like the regular size carts, and then they have those mini like half carts that have like a top and a bottom kind of shelf to them. So it's kind of like those are the fast, easy carts, and then you have like the big carts, which are like for the moms that have to buy like 14 weeks worth of food all in one go. But what they did was they had put a big cart in front of all of the small carts. And right next to where they were, literally next to it, was the big carts. So they put effort and attention towards putting their cart away, but they put it in the wrong place. They put it in front of the other carts, not the right carts, the wrong carts. So they put in effort. They had a positive, like quote unquote, good intentions. But what they did had absolutely no beneficial result. It actually still had the same result as if they had just left the cart anywhere freaking else. Actually, it was more annoying where they put it because somebody would have to move it to get the small carts. If they had left it anywhere else, they could at least get the small carts out and not have to move that cart first. So it made me laugh, and I immediately thought, where am I doing that in my life? Where I am paying attention to the shopping cart. I am lining it up. I'm making sure everything is neat and tidy, looks perfect the way it is. But I have it in the wrong damn place. Okay? So that's my mindset, and a little insight into who I am, in the sense that them putting the cart back in the wrong place annoyed me, but immediately made me think of where am I doing that in my life. So, trainers, if you're listening to this, I am going to challenge you. So when you look at the things you do with your clients, you likely have the best of intentions. You have a plan, you have a workout written up, you have a reason for everything you're doing. But are you accounting for if what you're doing is actually working? So that person had a reason to put the cart back. They had an intent. They had the perfect quote unquote plan. But all of their actions led to nothing, led to the wrong result, or led to no results at all. So, if you think of how you train your clients, it's probably going to reflect very closely on how you train yourself, or at least it should. So you should believe in whatever you're training yourself to be the best option, and therefore you're going to take your clients through that. So if you're doing a great training plan, but you're taking your clients through a shitty training plan, well, then you're a shitty trainer, okay? So I'm assuming that in your own training, you're going to be looking at big picture things. So if you do strength-based training, you're going to look at 1 rep maxes. If you do endurance-based training, you're going to look at endurance performance. If you do aesthetic-based training, you're going to look at muscular balances and muscular shape. But you're probably tracking some big things in your training. And therefore, you're probably tracking some big things in your client's training. But is each element of the workout individually the best available option? So is each individual thing you're doing the best at what it's intended to do? So does each element of the workout then lead to the ultimate goal? So I was talking to another trainer about this recently, and I said, "You're doing a great job of creating good single workouts, but your workouts don't progressively build on each other over time." And that's something I remember myself taking on as a challenge when I was a trainer, was I'd gotten to a point of creating very good, what I felt were excellent singular workouts. And then this is when I did bodybuilding. And bodybuilding is, if you create volume and you do things over time, especially when you're brand new to lifting, you're going to get progressive results. Eventually, results slow down. Your arms kind of stop gaining, half inch every couple months. Your calves stop growing, your thighs stop growing. You start not being able to really see the results that came so easily before. So whereas before, when you first started, doing anything got you something. As you get more advanced, doing anything doesn't always lead to something. You might be spinning your wheels in anything that you're doing. You might be taking 2 steps forward, but then 2 steps back. If you don't have synchronized efforts from workout to workout, if you don't create a great program, you're going to eventually stall out and not get really good results. That's going to happen in your own training. That's going to happen in your client's training. Your 1-rep maxes all of a sudden don't go up. Your endurance-based testing exercises all of a sudden don't increase. They don't improve. And your aesthetics kind of plateau. At that time, it is very important to look at not only what each individual thing of your workout does, but do your workouts to workouts to workouts. The program, the combination of multiple workouts, do they lead where you want to go? And as a trainer, I'm going to challenge you to look past just the physical. Are you addressing the mental needs of your clients? Are you building self-confidence? Are you helping them address maybe food issues? Are you helping them in their mental and emotional health? And are you helping them create a progressive, long-term, positive lifestyle? So, any decent trainer can create a decent body. But good trainers not only create good bodies, but they create healthy human beings. So great trainers address not only physical health of their clients, they address the mental health and the lifestyle health. So does the program that you take your clients through lead to all of those? Are you making people stronger, but are you potentially burning them out from exercise altogether? Are you making people stronger, but they have acute, small, annoying injuries all the time? Their knee always hurts, their elbow always hurts, their shoulder always hurts. Are they in a healthier state as well as a stronger state? Or have you traded health for strength? Are you making people lose weight, but they have a seriously imbalanced nutrition approach? Maybe they have a negative mindset towards food. They see food as miserable and punishment. It always has to be nasty, and they can never, ever have good food. And you maybe have created an unsustainable exercise routine. So I've worked with clients where they came from gyms where trainers had them doing 3 hours of cardio a day. That's absolutely stupid. Absolutely freaking stupid that someone is doing 3 hours of cardio a day when their goal is simply just fat loss. If they're trying to be a runner, great, okay, that's fine. But if they're just trying to be less fat when they brush their teeth, jiggle a little bit less, then why the hell would they be doing 3 hours of cardio? So if you're a trainer and you want to be a good trainer, chances are you're only listening to this podcast because you want to be the best trainer you can be. Okay? Ask yourself these questions. Are you making people stronger? But are they healthier? Okay? Are they burned out? Do they have small injuries? Do they hate lifting? Do they hate the gym now? That's not what we want. Okay? We want to be not only developing better bodies, but we want to be developing better people. And on the flip side of that, are you good at developing better people, but maybe not their bodies? Are you always a friend? Are you always a good listener? But are you also always pushing them to better themselves physically? Or are you letting their bullshit excuses be your bullshit excuses? Oh, such and such happened with so and so in my life, so therefore I can't work out very hard today. You're already in the damn gym. They already made the effort to be there. They're there for an hour. What the hell are you going to do for an hour? If they're already there, get your damn progress. Okay? It's not a therapy session. If they want a counselor, they're going to go pay for a counselor. They're paying you to be their trainer. You need to act like one. Life always has stress. Stress is not a valid reason to not make progress towards your goals. If every time life got stressful, you put your goals on hold, you will achieve nothing in life. Nothing. Life always has stress. Does that stress sometimes mean that you have to change your plan of attack? Hell yeah, sometimes that happens. Maybe you need to slow things down. Maybe you need to change the focus. But do you ever stop? No. So, our goal, when we think of the bigger picture, is to not only create better bodies, but better people. To not only create better people, but create better bodies. Don't do one or the other. Don't put the cart back, but put it back in the wrong place. Okay? Are you putting the cart back? And are you putting it back in the right place? Are you taking actions that have good intent, but maybe missing something else? So look back over what you include in your clients' sessions and ensure that each individual element has the best purpose, the best plan of attack for that purpose. And then look at what direction are those collective purposes of the workout taking you. Okay? Are you addressing their physical health, but are you also addressing their mental health, their emotional health? Okay? Are you helping them develop better lifestyles? Life sustainable, long-term, beneficial lifestyles? Are you teaching them how to be healthier? Are you teaching them how to take control and do it on their own? So whenever you have to kind of part ways, whenever your relationship maybe falls apart, maybe they move on, maybe they move away, maybe they run out of finances, life happens, okay? You won't have you won't have clients for the rest of your life. So are you teaching them what they need to know? So even when you're gone, they can still live to be their best. Okay? So these are some things to think of. So overwhelmingly, most clients I talk to who are personal trainers, and we do training consultations and do trainer educations, is every single time I ask them why they do what they're doing, they have a reason. But sometimes the reasons are out of order. Sometimes they have a lower priority of a reason ahead of a higher priority. They maybe have their big picture muddled up. And that's common. So sometimes they're focusing on a certain exercise for strength when it's not actually the best exercise. It doesn't best address what they want to get stronger. Those are small, innocent mistakes. A bigger mistake would be something where, like I said, maybe sometimes if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a caring person. You're probably wanting to be your best. So sometimes your client comes in and they're just not feeling it that day. Okay? Do you let them skirt by and do a pathetic effort and say, well, at least you came in the building? No, hell, don't do that. Okay? Get something for their time. Help them. So I had a client yesterday, came in underfed, was feeling lightheaded whenever we were doing deadlifts. Well, we were doing sets of 10, okay? And it was a belt squat variation of a deadlift. So I told him, I said, well, I'll tell you what. Sets of 10's kind of jacking up your blood pressure. You're low on food, you're low on blood sugar. So let's reduce the time under the tension, and let's just do sets of 5s. But since we're reducing the workload on that, let's add some body weight step ups so we still get some work on your glutes and hamstrings, but we're going to keep you in an upright position, and we'll just do body weights so that way there's not as much of an increase of blood pressure. So we are still going to get work out of you, but we're going to lower the blood pressure stimulus, which is causing the issues. And we're going to stretch the work out by taking a little bit longer rest periods. So that way your body has a better chance to find the energy it needs between the sets. So, the person was having a hard time keeping up with the intended purpose of the day. Sets of 10 reps on the belt squat, okay, for deadlifts. But just because they couldn't keep up with that, did that mean that we gave up altogether? No. Did we say, oh, well, you didn't have a great food today. You know what, let's just call it a day, and maybe next time you come in, maybe you'll feel a little better, blah, 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 blah. No. We still did some damn work. We still got something for their effort. They made the effort to get in the damn building. That's then my responsibility to get something for them while they're here. To be the best trainer you can be, you have to have a mixture of tough love. You need to love on them when they need it, but be tough enough to push them when they need that as well. So are you both? Are you too tough? Are you always an asshole? Okay, which is what I sound like all the time in these podcasts. If so, you need to soften your edges. Okay? You need to find a way to get what you need done, but be less of a jerk about it. Make sure they still enjoy the hour with you. Make sure they still enjoy exercise. So that way they don't associate exercise with punishment. So that way whenever you leave, they won't just give up on exercise. Don't be the force that pushes them away from a healthy life. So if you're too tough, soften your edges. Now, if you're too damn soft, toughen up. Okay? If you always let your clients' excuses dictate what you do with them, bullshit. Do not do that. Take control. Make sure you still get maximal work for whatever they have to give that day. Maybe they'll have less of what they can normally give, but that doesn't mean that you don't still demand every ounce of whatever is available. Okay? So, when you think of how you train your clients, what I wanted to get across in this podcast was make sure that for each thing you're doing, you're already going to have an intent. I'm aware of that, and that's a good thing, that's a normal thing, and you should be doing things with some idea of what the hell they're meant for, okay? So you should have an intent behind everything what you're doing. That's kind of a given. But is what you're choosing to do to address that intent the very best way to address that intent? If you're not sure, go look it up, go research it. So if you're doing a stretch for hamstrings, but they're having a hard time balancing themselves, isn't the act of firing the muscles to balance themselves going to shortchange how much they can stretch that muscle? Yes. They can't stretch the muscle if it's firing to balance them. So if they're doing a hamstring exercise and they can barely balance themselves, it's probably not a very good, if they're doing a hamstring stretch, okay, and they have to fire the muscle to balance themselves, it's probably not a very good stretch, right? So can you find those types of things in your training where you have a good intent, but you don't maybe have the best of way to implement that intent, to achieve that intent? So take a second look at everything you're doing, each thing you're doing, and say, does what I'm doing to address this intent, is this the very best way to do so? Then look at your collective intents of the workout and say, will this lead to long-term progression? Will this lead to not only a better body over the long term, will it lead to a better person? So can I create not only great workouts, but great programs? So what you can do to help towards that is listen to podcast 423, okay, which is like 2 podcasts ago. And I talk about how to create training templates, personalized training templates. And you can do that for your clients. So what that is that a template will give you the categories that you need to address to ensure long-term progression for that client. And then within each category, you're going to try to find the best way to address that category. which can be answered in part by podcast 415, titled Layering Purposes, How to Best Kill Birds. So how to kill more birds with one stone. So 423, podcast 423, Personalized Training Templates. That'll teach you how to create a template, a long-term progressive categorical program for your client. Then podcast 415 will tell you how to fill in those categories to get the best results, not only for each workout, but for each kind of step along the process. Okay? So, trainers out there, make sure if you're putting in the effort to put the cart back, you're putting it back in the right place. Okay? So don't waste your efforts, don't waste your energy paying attention to the small things whenever you're missing the big thing, the big picture. Okay? So listen to podcast 423, create templates for each of your clients. Then listen to podcast 415 and fill out those templates with the best possible option for each category of the template. Okay? If you do that, I promise, you're going to get better results for your clients. And not only better results for them as physical health, okay, better results for their body. You're going to get better results for them as people. Okay? Cool. Now, if you need any help implementing all that stuff, email us, brutalironGym@gmail.com. We'll help you out. But I really, really wanted to just kind of take this moment to raise your awareness as a trainer and say, hey, wake up. Clap, clap, wake up. And see if what you're doing is the best for them individually workout-wise, but then also, is it leading to the big picture? Is it leading to where you really want them to be? Not only healthier, but happier. Okay, cool. So, if you like the podcast, please share it with family and friends. The more people we help, the happier the world will be. Also, if you like this information, you can find more from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Brutal Iron Gym. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. The podcast is for you, so we want to know what you want to learn about. You can tell us at our email at brutalirongym@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening. And thank you for watching.